Hey and welcome. Today we are making some white, therefore take some white leg trousers that you already have in your closet and turn it to the right side. Make sure that you can see every single seam and that everything lines up perfectly. And now, with the help of such a thin paper, by the way, mine is linked down in the description box, and also such a thing, I never really knew what it is for, but it's actually to copy your own clothes. And now with those two gadgets, make sure to mark every single seam that you are seeing, because this is important for our pattern. I'm showing you where you need to mark in a second. By the way, make sure to also do this for the back part of your trousers. That's how your pattern pieces should somehow look like, and as you can see, I also noted down some things like the name, that it's the front, that I need it 2 times, and that you also need some seam allowance. Here's the back part, and by the way, I make sure that every single seam is kind of straight at least. And also I measured this part and this part, because obviously the inner leg seams but also the outer leg seams need to be the same length. And now, as already noted down on the pattern, we need 2 back pieces and 2 front pieces that we are cutting out. And if you want to, you could also use pockets, but that depends on the thickness of your fabric, but also on how tight you want your pants to sit. You will definitely need a waistband, which needs to be the length of this part and this part times 2, because it needs to go all the way around. So here are now all the pieces that I cut out. As I said earlier on, 2 back pieces, the 4 pocket pieces and the 2 front pieces. And you will also need some elastic that has the length of your waist minus 1 or 2 centimeters so that it fits tightly. And that's our waistband. So next we are going to attach the pockets by laying them right sides facing to all the leg pieces and sewing them together with a normal straight stitch. If you don't want to have pockets, just skip that step. Here's now how they look like, and now it's extremely important that you take 1 front and 1 back piece. Make sure that's not 2 back pieces or 2 front pieces, and align them up right sides facing. You will see why it's important to take a front and a back piece in a minute, but now make sure to pin and sew along this line right here all the way down. And obviously you will also do this for the other side. So now here comes the most important part. You take the 2 front pieces. That's why it was important to take a back and a front piece. Then you line them up right sides facing, pin them and also sew along the line. But make sure to only sew the curve. And again, you also do the same thing for the back part. After we finish that step, we lay our pants in front of us so that the side seams do lay at the sides, because now we are going to close the inner leg seam. For that step, make sure that those seams right here that we just sewed in the last step do line up. You could help yourself with a pin and then pin the rest of the inner leg seam and sew it together right sides facing. Our last step is to attach the waistband, therefore I already sewed the endings together so that it creates a circle. Next we lay our waistband with the open side up, right sides facing to our pants, pin it in place and then sew all the way around, leaving an opening which allows us to put some elastic in. Here's now how it looks like, and as you can see, that is my seam. We closed every single one of those 3 layers, and here's the tiny hole. It is okay if you leave like 4 to 5 centimeters, that should be enough. And now we put the elastic in. My tip would be to use such a safety pin because that's sometimes just easier. And now the next step is just to take the safety pin out again and then sew the waistband together with a normal straight stitch, but make sure that it's not tangled anywhere. And after that, the final step is just to close the rest of the waistband. Next, here comes the final reveal. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye!